A live look right now at I-65. Traffic there is moving, but that might not be the case for those side roads in the city. What city leaders are changing to get them cleared.
You just got to be prepared. They let us know ahead of time that this was coming. We were ready for it.
Round-the-clock work continues across parts of Kentucky to get the power back on. We check in with some of our rural communities about how they're handling the winter weather. And lawmakers will head back to Indiana's capital to begin their newest legislative session. We're going to talk about some of their biggest priorities. It's all coming up right now on Wave News Sunrise.
Now, Wave News Sunrise.
Good morning to you. 6 o'clock. Yeah, kids are out of school again today, many of them. And really, it's a good thing right now because I had trouble getting out of my neighborhood this morning.
Yeah, and I had some issues when I was trying to get on and off the interstates because some of those ramps are cleared in the middle and not so much exactly to the sides.
Right.
So if you make that turn a little bit more sharply than you should, then you can run into some issues. So make sure you're doing that today. For those of you heading out across the region right now, what we're looking at, some more of those flurries flying and some light snow showers as well across the area, and basically everybody getting in on this morning. From Madison to Jasper, we're seeing some of those flurries continuing to fly across the metro. Much of the same going on, especially right along 64, so watching that. And then also seeing some more of those flurries from Trimble and Carroll counties south towards Springfield, Meade County, Brandenburg. You're getting in on this too, all the way towards Greene and Taylor County, dealing with some of these flurries and light snow showers. As we continue throughout the day, notice I've kept those in the forecast even into portions of the afternoon. Now, it won't be flurrying the entire time, but we will see some flurries in some parts of wave country yet again, especially with those clouds staying overhead. Your temperatures are mainly in the 20s, but we do have one spot now down into the teens, and that is Salem at 19 degrees. Those wind chills, though, in the teens for many of us, feeling like 14 in Louisville, feeling like 17 into Frankfurt. So we're going to keep those wind chills in the teens today. Temperatures trying to rebound into the low to mid 20s for the afternoon. Overall, yes, going to be a very cold day ahead. Now, as we head into the next couple of days, we will add some sunshine back as we head into your Thursday, but that's not going to do much to warm us up. Then on Friday, accumulating snow back into the forecast, especially for those of you across Kentucky. And this is why that alert day is still in place. Shannon.
For our amazing bus drivers who have the job of coming and transporting our most precious cargo every day safely to and from school, we want to make sure that they can safely get to those bus stops and safely transport our students.
The Metro Snow Team turning their attention to some of the city's side roads in an effort to help the state's largest school district head back to the classrooms. It's part of a new plan that starts this morning. And Wave News reporter Josh Schninke is on the roads again.
We're actually looking pretty good, but if we look at some of these ones that aren't on the snow route, you can see that they are not exactly in the best position. And that's what's happening today. Ordinarily, there's about 110 snow routes that the plows and trucks go on and treat. But starting today, the mayor has a new initiative where he wants to get all these side roads like this one plowed. And one of the big reasons is so that the buses for JCPS and honestly for these people that live here can actually get out, drive to work, and the students can actually get picked up and taken to school. The mayor had a little bit more to say about what's different starting today.
We're going to add streets that are not on our snow route to help get you to your job, to help get you to your doctor's appointment.
We've seen plenty of people out here struggling to get out of their parking spots. But again, some of these main roads are just fine. A lot of what happens today, though, is going to go into the decision to get kids to JCPS potentially as soon as tomorrow. We don't know. JCPS might make a decision today, but if they don't, they said that they will have a decision for us no later than 5 a.m. tomorrow. So obviously, a lot of parents keeping a close eye on that decision, and we'll keep you posted as well. In the next half hour, I'll show you even more areas of the city and what we're working with here. So live here in the Storm Tracker, Josh Schninke, Wave News. Olivia, what are things looking like around the metro?
Well, Josh, our interstates are looking all clear right now as we take a live look at our metro traffic cameras. You can see they've tried to plow a little bit bit of the shoulders here, so you have just a bit of space if you have to pull over, but don't go too far because there's still at I-265 at New Cut Road, so everything's looking good there. But I do want to point out a spot that we had a lot of issues with yesterday. That would be 65 northbound as you're approaching the Waterson. Right now, as we take a live look, it looks good there, but it was that access lane, that ramp lane that people had a lot of issues with. We saw a couple wrecks yesterday morning during the morning commute and a couple more throughout the day, so please be careful because clearly that's an area giving people issues right now. Shannon.
Thanks, Olivia. Also, a road on the edge of Jefferson County is closed right now because of the icy conditions. Councilman Stuart Benson says Metro Public Works has shut down Route Road. Benson says there are some stranded cars that just can't be reached by tow trucks right now because of the ice, and the road will be closed until they can treat it and the cars can be removed. Members of the Indiana National Guard have been helping Hoosiers get unstuck from the snow. Governor Eric Holcomb activated the Guard for the snowstorm that hit Sunday. More than 100 guardsmen were stationed around southern and central Indiana, including a team based in New Albany. Guardsmen helped about 50 stranded drivers over the past days. And a concern that some drivers have, they're facing and dodging huge sheets of ice blowing off cars. Local auto glass repair shops have been getting dozens of calls about broken windshields from the ice. At 502 Auto Glass, they're booked up through tomorrow. A manager says they've seen damage from sheets of ice flying off of vehicles onto others. You just look at that. And also, they've seen people damaging their own windshields by busting them with ice scrapers or even pouring hot water on the glass.
This guy here has had his whole thing frozen this morning like everybody else, and he tried to use a scraper to beat on it and broke his windshield there in the corner. So
I kept in his, I said, well, it's working pretty good. So next thing I know, all the ice get off there, and I look, I said, oh man, I got two big cracks on my passenger side window on the side. I'm like, wow, oh my goodness.
Transportation officials say you should always completely clear your car of ice and snow, and that includes the top of your vehicle too. And if you can't reach it, you can use a broom. Never pour hot water on a windshield or punch the ice with a scraper. Instead, wait for your cars to defrost. Monday morning at the building on South 6th Street, Louisville Fire could not say if weather contributed to the collapse, but said no one was hurt. Tenants say bricks and debris from one side of the building, though, trapped 4 cars, leaving them without a key resource to get around.
We have power, but we're stuck. Can't go anywhere without your car. Not the way it is right now. Of course, we are within walking distance to a couple stores, but they have limited things. Like I said, I had to have my mom take me grocery shopping today, and I'm an adult.
Louisville Fire says an inspector's been contacted but can't take a look until weather conditions improve. We did reach out to Codes and Regulations about this building. We're working to learn more about the owner of it. Well, getting cars back on the road, that's one thing, but planes on a runway, a much larger task. There have been more than 100 canceled flights at Louisville's Muhammad Ali International Airport since Sunday. If you are flying over the next few days or you're expecting some family to come in town, you want to check those flight statuses. But look at this morning. Most flights are on time, so that's really awesome. If you want to check a status of a flight, you can go to flylouisville.com. Most people in Louisville do have power again. Good news, but hundreds still don't have it in counties south of the metro. And with cold temperatures expected to get even colder, that's a concern. In Spencer County, energy and internet providers were out working to fix lines and restore service to customers. EMS and first responders have also been out the last few days helping to clear roads and restore conditions while planning and preparing for the possibility of more snow on Friday. And officials are urging people to be ready for what could happen.
Plan and prepare. You know, follow your local emergency management offices. They're putting out good information. Keep in mind that, you know, warming shelters are a temporary thing. It's for you to get warm, make arrangements to where you can go from that point.
Sheriff Ware says anyone who needs help can reach out. People in Bullitt and Spencer counties can also track their service providers' outage maps with links in this story on wave3.com. And a reminder, as we're facing more winter weather, you can download that free Wave Weather app. The storm tracking team will alert you to any issues and help you stay ahead of the winter weather. Plus, right there, you can also check traffic. A mother is suing a former JCPS principal after she claims he tried to scare second graders by pulling out a fake gun and making up a story about a monster. The lawsuit claims the former principal at Hartstern Elementary School, Dwayne Wright, called two 7-year-old students to his office over behavior in 2019. And during the meeting, the lawsuit says Wright slammed a gun on a desk and told the two boys, "If you don't get it together, I'm going to feed you to the wolves." The lawsuit claims Wright admitted to the incident, and Wright said the gun was a toy taken from another student. Another part of the lawsuit claims he told a student a monster named Mr. Babu lived in a closet in the school to get students to behave. The lawsuit claims JCPS took no disciplinary actions against Wright despite knowing about his actions. The lawsuit says JCPS determined claims made against Wright were unsubstantiated and inconclusive. Court documents say Wright was forced to step down in 2022 due to another lawsuit and was fired last March. Details about why he was fired have not been released. A JCPS spokesperson said they have not seen the lawsuit yet. Attorneys for the mother say it may not be processed through the courts yet because of the weather, but they expected it to be improved sometime today. Indiana lawmakers will return to session today with a handful of goals in mind for the work period. Lawmakers will have to create a new 2-year budget. The more than $44 billion budget will impact everything from use for minors to testing of police for alcohol and drugs. And a big bill on the table is House Bill 1041. It would prohibit transgender female college athletes from playing on a women's college team. In 2023, Indiana lawmakers overcame a veto from outgoing Governor Eric Holcomb to pass a ban on transgender student athletes in K through 12th grade sports. And Kentucky lawmakers returned to Frankfort yesterday for a 30-day legislative session. Lawmakers from both parties are highlighting several bills. In the Senate, there are proposals to raise the minimum wage and measures to create tax credits for domestic violence victims. One key proposal looks to lower the state individual income tax by 0.5% next year.
Give it its constitutional reading here on Thursday.
You will see that I've always voted for the tax cut. Look, when we can afford to give people tax cuts, we should.
Lawmakers will meet until Friday of this week, and then they break for 3 weeks and resume in early February. Well, if you're getting dressed this morning, wear something warm, right?
Oh, yeah. We have the sweaters going on today. I got leggings. I have 2 pairs of socks on. I am not messing around with this cold, especially with those flurries flying across the area. You want to make sure those shoes are properly secure and, hey, they're good with this kind of slick weather that we're dealing with. The flurries will continue to fly throughout the rest of the day before we finally dry out later on tonight. I'll let you know how cold we could get, especially in those spots where we see those clouds clearing after the break.
Well, with snow and ice covering so many parking lots and driveways, so many people have been out there shoveling, but some tips from health professionals coming up.
Now, Wave News.
Well, I haven't gotten mail this entire week. The United States Postal Service says they need help to get mail and packages to you safely right now, so they're asking people to clear paths of snow and ice in your neighborhood. You should clear walkways, sidewalks, and areas around mailboxes, so that will allow the letter carriers to deliver the mail safely and timely. Also clear any steps, porches, and walkways too. Millions of Americans are under these winter weather alerts, and it's important you stay safe, especially if you're out there shoveling. Dr. Carol Parsons is an emergency medicine physician for Cleveland Clinic, and she says to help avoid back injuries, it is best to shovel the snow when it is light and fresh and scoop smaller amounts at a time. Also, it's good to stretch out before you get started, drink lots of water. Shoveling can be really strenuous on the heart. So if you have any kind of heart condition, let someone else do it. And if you notice any kind of pain or discomfort while you are shoveling, stop immediately. Dr. Parsons says other injuries she sees during this winter weather are people slipping and falling, hypothermia, and frostbite.
Frostbite is when typically your tips of your fingers and your toes freeze. It also commonly can be seen in your nose and your ears, though. The ways to prevent this are by making sure that you are wearing warm apparel when out in the cold, but also changing your apparel whenever they get wet.
And if you have a snowblower, that can be dangerous too, because you should never put your hands near the blades or exit chute to clear clogged snow, because you could cut your fingers or they could even come off. So be careful. And, you know, we're regretting your weather team. You guys all told us, hey, if you want to shovel, do it before the freezing rain. Mm-hmm. We didn't at our house, and now it's a mess. Yeah.
Yeah, because you have that layer of ice on top of it, and it makes everything heavier, and it's just, not the best of situations. So if you're going to do it very carefully today. The storm tracker out on the roads now getting off of 64 and heading towards Grinstead. So we're keeping an eye on the roads. This is where we're seeing some clear conditions, which is good, because initially when I was trying to get home on Monday, this was not clear. So this is a lot better than what we were seeing. What we're continuing to keep an eye on as of right now, some more of the light snow, those flurries flying across the area. Most of the flurries right now in southern Indiana, anywhere from Corydon up towards Scottsburg, over towards Jasper, you're seeing some of these flying. Same thing in the metro. We're watching the flurries as of right now. For those of you from Carrollton to Frankfort, you're seeing them. Same thing from Brandenburg down towards Litchfield and all the way south towards Greensburg and Campbellsville, getting in on some of these flurries as of right now. With the clouds overhead, we are cold enough to just squeeze. Temperatures are in the low 20s in most locations. Our cold spots, Salem and North Vernon, both sitting at 19 degrees right now. But there is a little bit of a light wind out there. It's not very strong, less than 10 miles per hour, but it's enough to drive our wind chills down into the teens in many spots. Feeling more like 14 degrees in Louisville and into Seymour, feeling like 14 degrees right now in LaGrange. Your wind chill just dropped, and feeling like 15 in Bardstown. Our futurecast shows that as we continue throughout the day, we are going to have more of these clouds overhead as temperatures do their best to climb into the 20s for later on this afternoon. And we'll have to watch and see how much we can get those clouds to clear overnight, because that will dictate really how cold we get. Now, with the flurries and those light snow showers that are in today's forecast, we can get a light coating, additional dusting of some snow in some spots. And that's something we have to watch for, especially on treated roads, because that is where we could end up with an additional light glaze trying to happen and a few more slick spots. And I want to make sure that everyone is aware of that, and you're just taking it extra slow this morning. For tomorrow, starting off with temperatures very cold, and I feel like very cold is an understatement here, because if we can see those clouds clearing out enough, especially for those of you in southern Indiana, this is where we can run into temperatures at or below zero. So those below zero temperatures are more likely for those of you in southern Indiana, because you have more of that snow on the ground. Further to the south, you're talking single-digit temperatures to start off your Thursday, only talking about low to mid-20s for most of us for highs for tomorrow. The alert day still around on your Friday, as we have already a winter storm watch out for our southernmost counties. So we're talking from Grayson County to Hardin County to Nelson County, and south of that included in this winter storm watch for Friday morning all the way through your Saturday morning. As we watch the alert day on Friday morning, we'll see some of that snow starting to move in, especially before lunch, taking over the region through the afternoon, and we do see the best chance for accumulating snow for Friday evening into very early Saturday morning. All of this pushed to the east as we head through Saturday morning. For those of you south of the parkways, this is where we have the best chance for accumulating snow. This is where we could see close to 4 inches of snow with the current timing and the track of this low. The track of the low changes, and the totals will change as well. So we're going to be watching it very closely. Getting into the weekend, still cold with highs near freezing. For a lot of us, we're going to get close, but not quite hitting it. And then on Monday, some more snow trying to show up in the forecast. Behind that Monday system, will drop down into the teens and low 20s for next Tuesday and Wednesday.
Here's a look at the current Kentucky Lottery jackpots. The Kentucky Lottery, over $5 billion in grants and scholarships.
Breaking overnight, the Palisades fire in California continues to burn rapidly, and it's forcing people out of their homes. Here's Olivia with the latest in this breaking news alert.
Yeah, thousands were forced to evacuate overnight, some quickly grown to about 3,000 acres, according to the Los Angeles Fire Department, and it's 0% contained. The fire is being fueled by intense Santa Ana winds, threatening 13,000 structures in the area. Hundreds of firefighters have been battling the blaze on foot in the hillsides of the Santa Monica Mountains, as well as by planes, dropping water and flame retardant there. This area has been through wildfires many times before, but this is the biggest wind-driven event that many of them have seen in their lifetime. Shannon?
Yeah, so intense, and the images just crazy. Yeah, they're getting wind gusts of about 99 miles per hour.
Yeah, those Santa Ana winds are no joke, and they need some precipitation, but unfortunately not seeing a lot of that coming their way as of right now. Now, what we're looking at in our area, we're keeping an eye on some flurries and light snow showers across the region. So that's what we're talking about for today, with temperatures only in the low to mid-20s at best for this afternoon. That's it. Once we head into tomorrow, we're going to keep our highs around the same of what we're looking at for today, but at least we got some sunshine coming our way. That's something we can look forward to, especially after waking up to temperatures near zero Thursday morning. The alert day still in place for your Friday as we watch for accumulating snow with some of those higher snowfall totals expected across Kentucky. The weekend cold, but at least quiet, with temperatures trying to get towards the freezing mark. Keep in mind, with some sunshine through the weekend, that should help to melt some of that snow, but with temperatures for most of us below freezing throughout the weekend, everything that melts will refreeze. Getting into next week, some more of that snow showing up on your Monday. Very cold for Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, with more of those highs only in the upper teens and low 20s and lows back down into the single digits. By the end of next week, though, there is that trend to push our highs above freezing. Finally, we've waited very, very long for this. Shannon.
Thank you, Tawana. Coming up on Sunrise, road crews are treating more snow routes in our area, and they have a new plan that starts today. How that could help JCPS coming up. Good Wednesday morning. Oh, isn't this a pretty sight? It's so pretty when you're inside. You can look at that. But Tawana is outside right now taking a look at the weather. She's all bundled up. Yeah, and I hope, is it slick?
It is a bit slick, a little bit icy out here this morning. You can tell where everyone else has stepped. I can even tell which shoe prints are Kevin's compared to Brian's here this morning. But yeah, it is cold, it is slick. Keep in mind, in those locations where there's been a lot of traffic, whether it's really with vehicles or with humans or even with animals, we have a few cat footprints we've noticed out here. Keep in mind, this is where you could have some of that ice showing up as you're heading out. So right now we do have flurries flying. We're seeing the same thing here in the Wave Weather Garden, looking very pretty this morning, and everybody's getting in on those flurries as temperatures are sitting in the upper teens and low 20s across the area. Keep in mind that our wind chills for many of you are in those low to mid-teens to start off the day, so you want to make sure that you are staying warm. As we head throughout the day, we are going to be talking about temperatures staying in the 20s as we watch those flurries continuing to fly. With these, we can get a little bit of a light dusting, a light coating in some locations, especially if you see a light snow shower, and that could lead to additional slick spots. So for tomorrow, cold across the area, but at least we have some sunshine coming our way. And then on Friday, an alert day with more accumulating snow in the forecast, especially for those of you across Kentucky, before we're going to do our very best to climb to near freezing as we head into the weekend. But that's as warm as we look to go as of right now, Shannon. Yes, very cold and very flurry-y out here.
Flurry-y, yes. Thanks. And so we know those road crews, they have been so busy all across the metro, treating to more than 100 snow routes in the area. And today they have a new plan. Josh Ninke's in the Storm Tracker this morning to explain. Josh.
Hey, Shannon. Yeah, so plenty of these roads have been treated, more than 100 snow routes. But we were just on, Barrett, we're turning on to Roofer right here. You can see this is one of the roads that's had not as much attention paid to it. And that's the thing that we're looking at here. Lots of side streets have just been not treated at this point. But the mayor says that that's the new plan starting today. All the main snow routes have been treated, a whole bunch. And at this point, the focus is now on these. And the main reason is so that buses can come through here and start taking the kids kids to JCPS schools. There's a potential that if they get enough work done today, school could happen tomorrow. But part of what's helping kids potentially go back to school tomorrow is that a lot of good things have already been happening throughout the week at the buildings. Here's some JCPS folks to tell you a little bit more about it.
We have not had any broken pipes in our buildings, no damage to buildings from some trees that might have fallen down or damaged buildings because of all of the ice. So that's really good news. Our plant operators are at all of our buildings looking and making sure that everything is safe. We still have heat in all of our buildings as well. So those are things that all go into our decision on whether or not we will continue to have snow days or be back in school.
Now, they do have their work cut out for them because we've been in the storm tracker all morning, and this has four-wheel drive. But I can tell you, we've done our fair amount of slipping and sliding. A lot of these roads are still very icy. You know, they just haven't had a chance to recover after what's been going on. But you see, in front of us, things like Baxter are doing just fine. So hopefully they can start focusing on more of these side roads. And we have some good news for folks as far as those kids going back to school. And honestly, a lot of you getting back to work. I know it's been tough. It's been tough for me to get to and from work each day. So fingers crossed that they do some good work today and that maybe the weather cooperates with us at least a little bit. Live here in the Storm Tracker, Josh Ninke, Wave News.
Yeah, Josh, and we do have a traffic alert for you right now. This is actually the same area I pointed out 30 minutes ago where I said we had a bunch of crashes yesterday. Yeah, this is 65 northbound, the ramp to I-264. Another crash this morning. Guys, please be careful out there because I can't even count how many issues we've had in this area. Not sure what the problem is. Could be all this snow that's built up in the area, and I saw a little bit farther down there, some snow possibly causing some issues too. So it looks like they have the left two lanes blocked right now as they're working this incident. Right now that looks like it's the only issue out on the roads, but you can see all that orange starting to build up there on I-65 northbound. Everything else is looking good, but yeah, keep an eye out for the shoulders there too because not a lot of space if you do have to pull over. Shannon.
Thanks, Olivia. UofL Hospital says it is helping people with winter weather-related injuries across its network of hospitals. UofL healthcare providers have helped at least 15 people after falls. At least 7 others have been treated for cold-related conditions. Health leaders say be careful when you're walking on the ice and make sure that you're layered up if you're heading outside. And as the snow and the temperatures continue to fall, heating and plumbing companies have been working around the clock. Fayette Heating and Air says they've received hundreds of calls over the last few days, and they expect that number to go up throughout the rest of this week. About 120 employees are responding to calls ranging from busted HVAC systems to generator installations.
You've got a heat pump that the outdoor unit has to run, so you really have to be careful with the snow and ice piling up on that because that restricts it from being able to work properly. Or if you notice that it's icing up when it doesn't have snow and ice on it, that's also a telltale problem or a telltale sign that you've got a problem.
Experts say to protect your unit, you can also change the air filter, clear any vents or ducts, and make sure your windows and doors are sealed. You may need to reschedule your trip to the driver's licensing office this week. Offices have been impacted by the weather and staffing availability. Many appointments at Kentucky driver licensing regional offices were rescheduled. You're encouraged to postpone in-office walk-in visits to a later date, and they say remote driver's license renewal options are available online and by mail. More information about these services can be found at driveky.gov. And the Wave Weather app can help you stay ahead of the winter weather. The storm tracking team will alert you to the dropping temperatures and the next chance for snow. You can download this app for free. We now know the names of 4 LMPD officers who shot at a man accused of shooting an Orange County deputy. One of the officers has used deadly force in the past. LMPD says detectives Benjamin Derby, Jan Dykes, Robert Ross, and Joshua Trumbo all fired their guns at Austin Shepard's on Saturday. He was wanted for shooting Orange County, Indiana deputy Zach Andre. Indiana State Police say Deputy Andre is still in critical condition in intensive care. All 4 LMPD detectives are on administrative leave now. Police found Shepard in a home on Wheeler Avenue. LMPD says Shepard shot at detectives first before officers fired back and killed him. LMPD is expecting expected to release body camera video of the shooting soon. One of the officers who fired their gun, Benjamin Derby, shot and killed a 17-year-old last year. Police say Derby shot Brandon Marroquin in May of 2024. Marroquin was wanted in connection to a homicide investigation. LMPD says Marroquin flashed a gun at officers and ran away on 3rd Street and Kenton Street. Police say Marroquin fired his gun while he was pinned to the ground and struggling with officers. Derby then shot Marroquin in the head. Lawyers for a man charged in connection to Crystal Rogers' murder say they have not had enough time to prepare for his upcoming trial. Stephen Lawson's lawyers are asking a judge to delay the trial start date. Right now, it's scheduled to begin February 11th in Bowling Green. Lawson's attorneys say they did not get the massive case file until October, and that is because Lawson fired his original attorney back in August. Lawson's lawyers say they need time to go through all the evidence and consult with potential expert witnesses. Lawson is charged with conspiracy to commit murder and tampering with evidence. The judge has said
As you're heading out, more of those flurries around. We're going to keep those in the forecast all the way into the afternoon. Clouds overhead today with highs only in the 20s. Now, as we look ahead, we do see more snow and eventually some warmer weather. I'll let you know when we have our best chance to get above the freezing mark after the break.
6:43 and the Louisville Zoo captured their animals getting into some fun with all the snow. They've been taking photos and videos of the animals since the storm hit on Sunday. Oh, polar bear Bo probably loved it playing there. And then 6-month-old tiger cub Kaji seemed to enjoy his first snow in the islands. Now, if you want to head out to the zoo, remember they have a lot of good places where you can warm up to, like Gorilla Forest, which is such a cool place to go. We went one afternoon later in the day, and all of the gorillas, they were just laid out sleeping.
I mean, I feel
so
that.
Cute. Yeah, that's what actually I would like to do right now.
Find a warm spot, just sprawl out, and just have a good book and a cup of coffee.
Yeah, and look outside at the snow.
Yeah,
yes.
that sounds like a good day.
Doesn't
so
it?
For anybody who gets to do that, we're a little bit jealous. Just
and
enjoy it while you can. And we're talking more snow that we're going to be looking at as we get into later on this week. I'll talk about the chances for that in just 30 seconds. Good morning, everyone. Meteorologist Juana Andrew here with a check of your forecast. The storm tracker just turning off of Barrett and onto some of these side roads. You can see the difference between Barrett and what they're dealing with here. So just keep in mind that we're going to continue to keep an eye on those slick and snow-covered roads in some spots. But even if you are seeing clear roads in your area, you still want to take it slow. We're also watching for some flurries flying here and there. You can see those flurries a lot more clearly on our satellite and radar to start off the day. All of southern Indiana getting in on these flurries. Same thing in the metro, seeing some of those flurries flying, a little bit more of those snow showers showing up right along Bardstown Road from the Highlands all the way down towards the Snyder. Also seeing some more of those light snow showers mixing in with the flurries in portions of Bullitt County and down into Breckinridge County too, easing any little bit of moisture out of those clouds, hence the flurries that we're dealing with. And speaking of the cold, yeah, we're sitting in the low 20s for most of us, but it is 19 degrees still for those of you in Salem and North Vernon. While the wind is not strong, less than 10 miles per hour, that is just enough to drive our wind chills down into the teens in many locations. This is why we're feeling like 14 degrees in Louisville. I can tell you from being out in the weather garden, it feels like every bit of 14 right now. Also feeling more like 17 degrees in Frankfort and seeing a wind chill of 14 degrees in LaGrange. Now, with this light snow and the flurries that we have across the region for today, we could see an additional light coating or dusting of snow as the day goes along. So this is looking to be very light stuff, but even on those treated roads, it could start to cause some additional issues. So you want to make sure that you are being weather aware and careful as you're heading out. Our Futurecast shows that we're going to keep those clouds around through the morning into this afternoon with highs today only in the low to mid 20s at best. That's it. We're not warming up a whole lot. Now the clouds will try to clear later on tonight. Where we see those clouds clearing first, and of course how much of the clearing we actually see through the overnight hours will play a big role in how cold we are for tomorrow morning. As of right now, it looks like southern Indiana has the best chance to see the clouds clearing first and for the longest amount of time, and that means As you roll into your Thursday morning, this is where we can see those temperatures below zero, especially along and north of 64, because this is also where we have more of that snowpack in place. Now, for those of you further to the south, we're talking single digits for your morning temperatures. If those clouds do not clear out overnight, then we are not going to be this cold, mainly talking single digits, low teens, getting into tomorrow morning. So the clouds will be key. It does look like a lot of those clouds will clear, though, as we continue throughout your Thursday, which will allow us to climb back into those 20s for highs then. The alert day still in place for your Friday. We've been talking about this system for quite a while now, and now we have a winter storm watch in place for those of you along and south of the parkways from Friday morning all the way through Saturday morning, as we continue to keep an eye on that potential for more accumulating snow. Now, keep in mind, every part of wave country does have everything moving out for Saturday morning, but for those of you south of the parkways, this is where you have those higher accumulations expected. And right now, with that watch in place, we're looking at close to 4 inches of snow possible on top of what you already have on the ground. Getting into the weekend, we're going to try to warm up, but we're only talking some low 30s at best in the forecast. Some more snow showing up on Monday. So here we go again then. And then as we get further into next week, behind that Monday system, we do see the colder air settling in. So this is when we'll see those highs back down into the teens and low 20s, with lows in the single digits for many of us. And by the end of next week,
certification from a doctor. Patients then have to submit that application to get a medical cannabis card. Right now, more than 760 applications are being reviewed.
There are currently over 267 authorized registered practitioners in the Commonwealth, located in 68 counties across Kentucky. We continue to have more signing up. We expect this map to grow even further.
To learn more about the program, The World Today.
The search for survivors is more urgent today after a 7.1 magnitude earthquake shook part of Asia. The epicenter in Tibet is seeing the worst of it. At least 126 people were known to have been killed, 188 injured, and more than 400 people are trapped in rubble. Chinese authorities have yet to announce how many people are still missing, though. The threat of a winter storm in the south isn't stopping crews in Texas preparing for the Cotton Bowl. Fans will be arriving in Arlington today and tomorrow, so brine trucks prepped bridges and interstates. Cotton Bowl officials say while they have a contingency plan for now, the college football playoff semifinal is scheduled to kick off on time, as the University of Texas will take on Ohio State at 7:30 on Friday night. And heating bills are set to climb as millions endure bitter cold from this winter storm. U.S. home heating costs are projected to climb 8.7% to an average of $941 for the season. That's according to the National Energy Assistance Directors Association. The group said that's largely due to the continued run-up in electricity prices, coupled with forecasts for colder weather in the Midwest and the Northeast. I know a lot of us are rolling our eyes just hearing that. Those are some of your top headlines. Shannon will have more local news coming up in your Wake Up Watch list.
Well, big thanks to all those road crews. They've been out working nonstop all across the Louisville Metro since Sunday, and today they're branching out with a new plan. Josh Ninke's in the Storm Tracker to tell you what it is.
Yeah, Shannon, so there are more than 100 snow routes that have been plowed and treated throughout this entire winter storm. But there are roads like Schiller, right here where I'm at right now, that are still very icy, covered in a whole lot of junk. And here's the thing, starting today, the snowplow crews are going to be focusing on these kinds of roads. So we're crossing over East Kentucky right here. To give you more of an idea, we are slipping and sliding all over the place, even in our four-wheel drive here. And these are the roads that JCPS buses need to get on. And so the idea is, hopefully throughout the day, enough of these side roads can be treated that we'll be able to have school potentially for JCPS on Thursday and Friday. That's part of the plan that's going to be going on today. We'll see how these roads fare throughout the rest of the day. JCPS says they could make the call today, but if they don't, they'll make it by 5 a.m. tomorrow. So hopefully we don't do as much shaking as we are on those roads starting later today and into tomorrow morning. Now, Tawana, I know the forecast isn't really doing a whole lot to help us out here.
No, it really is not, especially with the fact that we're going to stay below freezing for the rest of the week, and we already have more of that snow in the forecast, including the flurries that we're dealing with flying across the region to start off the day, with temperatures in the upper teens and low 20s and wind chills in the teens across our region. So as we head over the next 12 hours, here's what we're going to see. You're going to need the jacket, the coats across the region for today, with temperatures in the 20s, wind chills in the teens. As we look ahead to the next 10 days, we of course have that alert day for Friday with more accumulating snow, and then the very cold air showing back up for the middle of next week.
Hey, we do have a traffic alert for you right now on I-65 northbound. We have a report of a crash as you are trying to get onto the Waterson right here. We had a lot of issues here yesterday. You can see they have the left 2 lanes blocked right now, dealing with that crash. Emergency crews there, but like I said, we had multiple crashes there yesterday, so clearly this area is causing issues.
Yeah, take it slow out there,
yes,
for sure. Thanks for joining us. The Today Show is up next.
Get live streaming news, 24-hour weather, investigations, podcasts, and more, all for